Well, hello everybody. My name is Bob, and here we are on another Friday with Total Toy Recon. We have decided that today we're going to talk a little bit about C-3PO. Now, lately, the C-3PO figures have been hitting the vintage collection, and that's at stores such as Target and Walmart. You can order them online. What you are seeing in front of you is not, this one here, is not the most recent Star Wars Vintage Collection C-3PO for the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back. No, this is actually Vintage Collection number 6, which was for the 30th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back. So, I didn't feel as if it was necessary for me to buy this figure again, considering I still have this one, and he has the Boba Fett sticker on him, which the new ones do not. So that's nice that that does identify this when you just look at the front, but the back also says 2010. So I thought, let's take a look at some C-3PO figures. I also have this Power of the Force Hasbro figure. Now, I believe this is from 1997, and this is from The Empire Strikes Back. With this figure, I thought, well, the package is clearly damaged. As you can see, it's wrinkly. Pulled this out of our Bob's Basement toy blog, and I thought, you know what? Let's open them up. Let's review them. We can also look at some other C-3POs, do some comparisons, and see how we do. So, the hard part is going to be, I do have one here that there's going to be another C-3PO that makes an appearance. So we will talk about that one in a second. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have another 5 or 6 C-3POs sitting right here. So this one right now is the 2010 30th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. The 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back is very similar, but it's not meeting with a lot of fans. Fare. It's just another figure to get in the line. So the one thing that I wanted to bring out was this is the correct packaging in the Kenner style of Empire Strikes Back C-3PO. They did use a scene from Star Wars in this packaging. That was done with a lot of Kenner figures of the day. If you just wanted the regular Han Solo that wasn't a Bespin Han or a Hoth Han, you got, the original image of him from A New Hope, and it said Empire Strikes Back. They did that across the board for all 3 movies as they would progress. So with this one, I kind of felt as if, this was the great 30th anniversary tribute. But since Hasbro has already done this 10 years ago, why didn't they release the C-3PO with removable limbs as he's seen with Chewbacca and being in the bag, as it is in The Empire Strikes Back? So that was like the next wave of figures in the Kenner line. Now, maybe that will happen in Hasbro's 40th anniversary, but I doubt that they're really going to release another C-3PO that comes apart in a bag without Chewbacca. And I bring that up because back during Attack of the Clones, they released this Chewbacca with this bag o' fun C-3PO. So you could put this over his shoulder and give him that look as if he was carrying C-3PO out. So this was a regularly priced Chewbacca figure for Empire Strikes Back. Here's the card and everything. I have it in my storage. And this figure was released as just a regular figure. This was like if you'd buy this guy from Hasbro, and during the era of Attack of the Clones, you got this Chewbacca. Now, the interesting thing here is, if you put these guys together, so if you take all the limbs, here you have this mass of limbs. This was not melted this way. It's like a rubber. You get all the parts, and clearly it just fits in the back of the bag. However, the price point on this was a regularly priced figure. Now, watch this. There's a battery thing. Oh, yeah, see that? There's a battery thing here, and then you get this. And you can barely see it. His eyes light up. Oh, and he lights up on the back. So here we have a regularly priced figure. Comes with a Chewbacca. This is probably from 2002, and it's already better than the 2010 version and the 2020 version of what Hasbro's releasing. So maybe Chewbacca's coming. They haven't really put Chewbacca out yet for Empire Strikes Back, so for the 40th anniversary, so maybe that'll happen. What's interesting, too, is originally Kenner released, now this is my original one. I don't have his little jacket that comes with him. So Kenner originally released the break apart C-3PO. I do have one in a Kenner bag, actually. This is my original. He's almost silver now. He's missing a leg. So This is my original one, and then he had this. He had the little sack. It was a plastic sack that would fit on Chewbacca's back, and then he was able to wear that, and you could carry him around and take him apart. So this figure right here was a regularly priced figure. Again, there we go. So I'm a little confused as to why Hasbro's doing this, but let's get to it. This is, we'll keep Chewie over here to the side. So this is the Walgreens exclusive C-3PO. This is a Black Series figure. This is a, obviously this was an homage. I believe this came out right after The Force Awakens. If I look at the date, I believe it's right after The Force Awakens. So this was the C-3PO droid that they released in the Black Series. Very cool figure. Really, really like it. It's got the silver leg. Everything fits perfectly. So let's get to this one. So now this is, as I said, was a 97 Power of the Force figure. Cards damaged, part of the Kenner collection up here, and I thought we'd open him up today and see how he is. We will compare him to the, oh yeah, that is a 1977 C-3PO figure. We have a 2004 C-3PO figure. Now look at this. So we're going to compare these two immediately. This is the original Kenner figure, always a great figure. Never had a problem with having this figure in my line. As you can see the neck here, but he's not as articulated. This is from 2004, so I'm guessing he's also somewhere around the Revenge of the Sith era figures when they were re-releasing. Silver leg, so it's nice detail here. Eyes are bright. Very, we focus more on the body here, which is kind of nice, and the colors are great. However, this is not the vintage collection, and if you look at the vintage collection figure, even here, 10 years ago, I'd rather have this figure. And I recently came across this figure in my wife's collection, and I was like, wait, I don't have that C-3PO. I would rather have this figure without as much articulation because it just looks better. Look at that. It looks like a beat-up, faded protocol droid. This looks like a brand new, off-the-shelf protocol droid, and the only thing that they seem to have gotten right is the leg. Now, I will put up pictures when I repost this on YouTube of what the current one looks like, so you can see it. It's not that different. So if we put the two side by side, it's not going to be that different. And then here is, now this figure is very important. So this is the Power of the Force re-released 1995 C-3PO. Not a bad figure. Probably more screen accurate than some of the Lukes, the Hans, and the Landos that came out in that first wave. So this is the C-3PO. Great figure. The arms are perfect. And we just have enough color here, and you can twist them. So, how much articulation do you need in a protocol droid? Not much. So the reason why I brought these all out is because we're going to compare them to this one from 97 and see how the others, the 2004 and the 2010, actually hold up. So we have the little cell, which is taped in here. 35 millimeter cell, which I think is great because if you actually, as you can see, it's a scene from Empire Strikes Back with Lando, two stormtroopers. It is the same scene as you see it here. And then if you really know Star Wars, that's actually Boba Fett. That's Jeremy Bulloch, the actor right there. They actually put him in that day. I believe someone was sick and he filled out the costume, so they stuck him in there. So he's actually in Star Wars twice, and actually within seconds of each other on screen, because Boba Fett does come around the corner in this scene and then fire at Luke. It's a trap, Luke. So, out of the plastic coffin. Oh, the one thing I wanted to say was, I thought it was clever that they put these little 35 millimeter cells that you could put in a 35 millimeter canister and project on the wall. But who has one of those? I have the little light box one that you hold it and you can look at it. But I do have the sleeve that this thing here on the back, that you can keep a whole bunch of these. The thing was, you needed like 4 of these if you actually had every figure that came with a 35 millimeter slide. So, here is a figure that is 23 years old, and not many points of articulation here. But, unlike its Attack of the Clones counterpart, ooh, look at that joint. So that pops right in there. Nice. And then here. So we have a much cruddier, found in the garbage kind of C-3PO, which is awesome because this is really what you want. So you want this beat up C-3PO to look like he's been blasted with, a blaster and was laying in pieces in a junk pile as Chewbacca told Han Solo. So let's see if I can get him apart without breaking him. So we got to take the legs off. That's obvious. And then there is one arm that's attached. So that was funny because that's the way he came. So then you stick. Now, I'm going to show you this. If you look at the bottom here, these were all the black pieces that have been coming off C-3PO as I've unpacked him. Now, granted, he's 23 years old in the pack, but already out of the case, and we've got little bits and pieces of dirt. Could just be the paint. So we put these pieces inside the bag, and I wanted a Chewbacca for this, and I thought it was funny that I actually found a Chewbacca for this that was the right Chewbacca, and actually an Attack of the Clones era release of Chewbacca for Empire Strikes Back. So we take this, I'm looking for the little strappy thing, and then we just put this over Chewie's shoulder. Well, don't worry, we'll get that back on there. Turn around, you woolly. So we put that on the back here. We drop Chewie, and we drop 3PO in there. I love that his legs are still stiff. He's bouncing around. I have to hold this up a little bit. We're trying to save Han from the bounty hunter. We put him back there, and then I do have Chewie's Stormtrooper gun, which I really do appreciate that when Hasbro released this Chewbacca, they actually gave him the gun that he was using in the scene. So, and we do have this gun. So, not the best, but much easier to put on him than the one that this one came with in 2004. And as tight as I pull it, I really can't quite get the head in this release to actually stay on. I love the fact that it lights up and it completes a circuit, but the head seems to just dangle there and pop out. Great if you're actually doing the scene where he's putting him together, but if you want to carry him around and still have him with one arm over Chewie's shoulder, it doesn't quite work. So as this C-3PO goes, let's take a look here. Looks great, fits in the bag that he came with. This is obviously a 7 years later Chewbacca that works very well. And you can actually, look how well you can pose him. So, and then, when you take a look, there's the card, that's what he's supposed to look like, and you're getting it in that shot. So that's very cool, even though it's flipped. The photo's flipped. So it's a great deal. So let's get Chewie, let's get 3PO off of here. And I'm really liking this 97, C-3PO. Quite a great deal, actually. So, get this taken care of and put him back together. So, as a kid, you did this, you just wanted him to break apart. You're always doing scenes from Empire because it was so good. And it was nice to have a figure you could take apart and then have some sort of story with. So, lots of black crud. And I'm not sure. I think it might be coming from the bag. Who knows? So, if we do a comparison here, here is the Power of the Force in 95. Here's 2 years later. And look at the detail that Hasbro put on this Empire Strikes Back C-3PO. I mean, he's fabulous. It's fantastic. This is great, brand new, like right after he gets his oil bath. It feels all awesome. I don't know why I broke into a little British accent there, but I did. This one is fabulous. I really, really like this. However, if I wanted a more C-3PO from the 10 and 4, the Blockade Runner, I would probably go with this one for a more... And he doesn't even twist in the middle. Does this one twist? This one doesn't twist in the middle either. And does he come apart at the... No, he does not come apart in the middle. So you're kind of stuck with that torso, where the other one was a little bit more all over the place. So, so there's your progression back in, actually, this is your progression. So here's your progression, 95, 97, and then we jump somewhere to 2004. And then we can even do this one. So there's your real progression. So not bad. But I have to say, this one really jumps out at me as one that I would have to crawl around the desert. Maybe this one, but this one here, and definitely Empire. Really, really well done. But I love the fact that this one has a middle torso. And the original is the original. You can't beat it. I mean, it looks like the character from Metropolis. So, Maria. So, very fun, different, and I really enjoy the figure. So I thought today we'd handle something a little bit different, a little bit shorter. Take a look at these C-3POs, and here we obviously have the parts of C-3PO, so we could probably add that to the shot. But a different figure, and it's interesting how simple this figure was and carried us through 3 movies. And Kenner, back in the day, would release this figure, and the only other variant we had was the one that came apart, who is one-legged short. Who unfortunately is one-legged short. So the details here were a little bit better, but this one is really faded, really worn, really beat up. But this is my original, so of course I'd never get rid of it as a collector. But as our progression got to this point, I think this was a step backwards. He may have the points of articulation, but then again, C-3PO isn't someone you really need a lot of points of articulation for. So this is Bob from Total Toy Recon. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back on Monday with a new review. We've got lots of reviews, lots of fun things out there for you to check out right now. We hope that you stay safe and that you enjoy this time with your family and have lots of fun playing with your toys. Thank you.